Hello and welcome to Project B. In this episode of Lemon to Lambo, we show you our next flip.
So if you haven't seen the last video of Lemon to Lambo, click the pop-up banner above. But pretty much we went to the auctions looking for a car, looked at a couple cars. Turns out the Commodores that we looked at, they just went way out of our budget. Yeah, they went 20s kind of thing. The Fiesta looked the most promising, but coming up to time when we were gonna bid for the Fiesta, James found another lemon, I'd guess you call it, on Facebook Marketplace. So yeah.
So classic, it was actually the night before the last kind of day of the auction. Another sleepless night, couldn't sleep, so jumped on Facebook Marketplace, just scrolling through and found this WRX that was perfect color. Everyone loves the blue WRX, and it was really cheap. So instantly messaged the guy, and amazingly he got back to me even at that time of night, and just pretty much said, look, where are you located? I'll be there right now. Can I see the car? He kind of then hummed and hawed and never got back to us, so I thought that one was gone and we were still going to try and go for that Fiesta. But he ended up getting back to me and said, yeah, all right, can you come see this Saturday? And I said, yeah, sure. And we hooked up, exchanged kind of where I was coming from, where he was located, and it turns out that we were actually just like 10 minutes down the road. So he said, oh, just come around tonight. So we were actually the first people to look at the car. When we got there, he showed us his phone. It was probably like 30-40 people just hounding him, wanting this car, because it was really cheap, and for good reason.
Cheapest WRX?
Cheapest WRX by far in Australia. So 2005 Impreza WRX in World Rally Cup Blue, or World Rally Blue, something like that, the colour's called. Manual, only done 160,000 Ks. And the only things wrong with it is really cosmetic stuff. It's missing a few trim pieces. It's filthy, and I mean filthy. It was this guy's second car, kind of second project car, so it sat a lot. And yeah, so we ended up agreeing on a price of $9,500, which is, or at least the time of this recording, is the cheapest 2005 GD Impreza WRX manual sedan in Australia. And yeah, so we picked it up, got it home, and yeah, so before we go and inspect it, we have to clean it. It is filthy. We are probably going to catch something if we jump into the car again and drive it around. So before we jump into inspecting the car, underneath, interior, engine bay, we're going to give it a really good clean, vacuum it all out. There is, I think, half a packet of Nerds lollies. If you're Australian, you know what the lollies they are. If you're from overseas, we'll pop up a little picture of Nerds. Basically, these tiny little things crushed up and through the entire of the rear seat. When we got to the car, there were 3 baby seats. So this guy had an interesting car for an interesting life. But in all honesty, the guy was a legend. He threw in a bunch of parts for us, which we'll get to later in the video, that we will be installing on the car. But without further ado, we need to clean this car desperately. So cue the montage.
The Subaru Impreza WRX is a compact car that has been manufactured by Subaru since 1992, and whose design philosophy was to bring rally-inspired technology and sportiness to the masses. Subaru adopted the name WRX to stand for World Rally Experimental, as all WRX versions feature rally-inspired technology, including all-wheel drive, stiffened suspension, and turbocharged 4-cylinder engines. If the WRX wasn't as hardcore rally enough for you, they later released the famed STI variant. These models were upgraded from the standard WRX in many ways. including performance-tuned engines, transmissions, and suspension. The STI versions of the WRX were immensely successful in rallies and popular among street racers, but were only originally sold to the Japanese market. It's quite common to see a blue WRX with gold wheels. This combo gained popularity with Subaru's success in rally racing and famous driver Colin McRae.
So the car's clean now, vacuumed it, gave it a full interior detail as well as full exterior wash. Car's come out pretty good. The exterior is amazing. We have found out that the car has been resprayed because they left a lot of the masking on. For example, the fog light is still masked up, and there's just bits of masking tape all over the car that we then had to take off. Inside wise, we're probably gonna have to go get a shampooer or steam cleaner just because the carpets have a few stains that need to be taken out. But all in all, the car now looks amazing. The only things that we did notice is one of the wheels is got one lug nut down, so it only has 4 instead of the 5, so we're gonna have to source one of those. A couple of little trim pieces, an exterior stone chip guard, and that's about it. So we'll jack the car up and see what's like underneath. All right, so underneath the car, first things first, we've got an aftermarket exhaust. Looks like from the cat back. Tread on the tires, really good. The tires are pretty much brand new. The rear shocks, no leaks, which is good. Rear diff, no leaks, which is good. Just some surface corrosion. Moving forward, this is the O2 sensor we were talking about. Just needs to be spaced out a tad. Coming forward to the gearbox itself, no leaks, looking good. Underside of the engine, the oil pan, it's just dirty, really. It's not oily, which is good. Front tire tread, nice and thick. Same with the other side. Again, shocks aren't leaking. CV boots are still intact. No leakage of oil or anything like that. The only bit of leakage really is the oil filter. Just here, you can see the bottom here, just dripping out a little bit. But we will be doing a complete oil change with a new filter in the next episode. So pretty lackluster. The car's good underneath, it's good. As Morgan walks into buckets. It's good underneath as it's good. outside. So really good to see. Yeah. So we peeled off the masking tape from the fog light on the driver's side of the car and realised that the fog light works, it just looks like it's been covered in mould for like the last 5 or 10 years. So we're probably going to have to replace those on our way when we go to a trip to a Wreckers, grab some more fog lights that haven't been moulded or have mould growing all over it, and as well as a couple of the trim pieces that we need for the car. But while we've got the car now, we'll plug in the scan tool and see if anything shows up. When we did inspect the car, there was a check engine light on, and the guy that we were buying the car off had a scan tool and showed us that it was actually a code for the O2 sensor for the exhaust. The guy, as soon as he got the car, pretty much put in a turbo back exhaust, and it's quite common on Subarus, unless you space out the O2 sensor, that it will trigger a code. So that should pop up, but everything else, we don't know. So I'm gonna plug in the scan tool and see what we find. So we just scanned the car, and just like when we inspected the car, the only code to show up is the O2 sensor code. So we just need to space that out. Quite a common problem on aftermarket exhausts for this generation WRX. But once we space that out, that should get rid of the code, and we just need to reset the ECU. So all in all, the car is in very good condition. After cleaning the inside, cleaning the outside, giving the engine bay just a little bit of a spice up, the car looks great. The only things really to have the car sorted would be to plumb the boost gauge. That's about it. Or clear the code and sort out the O2 sensor code to get that light off the dash. But other than that, the car would be sorted. We're not only going to be doing that, we are going to be modifying our little pocket rocket WRX. I keep looking because it's up on the left right here. But yeah, we're going to be modifying it in coming episodes, so look out for that. But if you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment below and subscribe. All your support means a lot to us. We respond to every single comment, love seeing feedback. So yeah, all the help we can get and all the support we can get, we very much appreciate it, and it helps us so much grow in these early stages of YouTube. So bye from us, and we'll see you in the next Lemon to Lambo episode.